I'm sure that many of you have heard of loving kindness meditation, also called metta meditation. Loving kindness is a practice that was introduced by the Buddha, it is said, more than 2,500 years ago, under the following circumstances. There were a group of monks who were studying with the Buddha and were practicing meditation and the Dharma in a particular spot in a particular forest. The inhabitants of the forest were not happy about this, and they did whatever they could to drive the monks out. They made scary noises. They created horrible smells. They tried to make the environment as inhospitable as possible so the monks would leave, and after a while, they did. They went back to the Buddha, as the story goes, and said, "We need a different spot." And the Buddha said, "Well, actually, why don't you go back to the same spot and do this practice?" And he taught them the practice of loving kindness. And after a while, through this practice of metta, loving kindness meditation, not only were the inhabitants of the forest pacified, they became fierce protectors of the monks and their practice. That is the power of the practice of loving kindness. It actually has the capacity to turn enemies into friends. The practice is predicated on the assumption that no matter how different we may appear on the surface, underneath, we all want the same thing. We want to be happy. We want to be safe. We want to be at peace. We want to live with ease. And we want the same for our loved ones. Recognizing this in the traditional loving kindness practice, you begin by acknowledging your own longing for these things and wishing them for yourself. Then you imagine a loved one and how you long for them to have happiness and safety and peace and so on. And then you bring your attention to what is called a stranger, someone you can picture, but you don't really have any feelings about them one way or the other, but you acknowledge, oh, they're the same as me and my loved one, and I will wish happiness and peace for them. Then you bring to mind what is called an enemy, someone who you think has done you harm, the world harm, someone who you really don't like. And you can still offer loving kindness to them. You do not have to forgive them or like them or let them off the hook. To find within yourself the understanding that they too, even in their own strange way, or worse, are trying to create happiness and find peace. So again, without letting them off the hook or forgiving them, you can still offer them loving kindness. And the practice concludes by offering loving kindness to all beings, because all beings share these wishes. When the Buddha first taught this practice, as I say, more than 2,500 years ago, my guess is he thought something like, well, what's the easiest place to start with this difficult practice of loving kindness? It requires so much expansion of the heart. Well, let's start with ourselves, because who doesn't like themselves? And now, 2,500 years on, my belief is that that is actually the most difficult place to start. Most of us find it easier to offer loving kindness to a stranger or even an enemy than to ourselves. We are so hard on ourselves. Yet without the capacity to soften toward ourselves and our experience, it is very difficult to soften to another and offer our heart to them. So this particular practice of loving kindness meditation that I want to offer you right now is meant to be done for you and you alone. You will place yourself in every position. You will offer yourself loving kindness as you know yourself and traditionally look at yourself. Then you will offer loving kindness to yourself as your own loved one. And I will guide us specifically in how to do this when the practice starts. Then you will offer loving kindness to yourself as a stranger, because there are parts of yourself you don't know and will never know. Next, you will offer loving kindness to yourself as an enemy. And that does not mean the parts of you that you don't like. The part of you that is your enemy is the part that is the most wounded, the most fragile, and therefore most likely to act in ways that cause suffering and pain for yourself and others. You will offer loving kindness to that part of you as well. And we'll conclude by offering loving kindness to all of you, to all of yourself. So please take your seat, get settled, and we'll begin. Take a few deep breaths in and out, and just relax. To do this practice, you can sit in your meditation posture or you can lie down. Your eyes can be open or closed. Just get comfortable and relax. Think about yourself. Think about how hard you try, have tried, and will keep trying in your life to create happiness for yourself and those you love. You've had successes, you've had challenges, you've been delighted, you've had your heart broken. Throughout, you find the courage and inspiration to continue. So really see yourself in your mind's eye, this one who is doing their absolute best, and wish for yourself fervently the following: may I be happy. Don't be afraid to wish yourself happiness. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be peaceful. May I live with ease. Now bring to mind an image of yourself as a loved one. You are lovable. There are things to love about you. You know that, even if you can't always hold on to it. So see this version of you in your mind's eye, the lovable you, and how hard this you also works, how sweet and tender and vulnerable and good you are. And wish for yourself as a loved one, may you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. May you live with ease. Now I ask you to imagine yourself as a stranger. There are parts of you you do not know. You have blind spots. You have capabilities and wounds that you can't see. Imagine this you and wish for those parts of you that you can't see or know. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. May you live with ease. Now let this version of you go and bring to mind an image of yourself as the so-called enemy. And again, this is not the part of you you don't like. This is the part of you that is the most fragile, the most fragile, the most wounded, the most likely to act in ways that cause pain for yourself and others. This part of you is also trying their very best to find happiness. So for yourself as an enemy, wish, may you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be peaceful. May you live with ease. Finally, as best you can, experience the totality of these parts of you, the ordinary you, the beloved you, the unknowable you, the wounded you, and wish for all of you, every part of yourself. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be peaceful. May I live with ease. Spend a few more moments or as much time as you like in this reverie of loving kindness. And when you're ready to conclude, just sit in a comfortable position and take a few deep breaths in and out before you resume your day.